We're looking live at the Vatican to begin this hour with breaking news on the death of Pope Francis. The Vatican is saying this morning his funeral will be held this Saturday, 4 a.m. Eastern, 10 o'clock in the morning in Rome. The Vatican is also releasing images of the Pope in his coffin, and there is video as well as photos coming in to us. He is in an open casket, and we're going to share some of them with you now. So these are the images from inside the Vatican. This is the chapel of Casa Santa Maria on the ground floor, and that is the residence where Pope Francis lived. You see some of the Vatican and the cardinals who are there, and his simple coffin, wood coffin lined with zinc, nuns also in attendance. This is video and photos coming from the rite of the certification of the Pope's death, which was held last night at 8 p.m. Rome time. The Pope wearing a red robe, his papal robes, and the papal mitre on his head, a rosary in his hands. Vatican News says the declaration of his death was read aloud and validated by the Camerlengo, Cardinal Kevin Farrell. As we've been reporting, he's acting as the Vatican's Cardinal Chamberlain until a new pope is chosen. It was an hour-long ceremony last night, and Vatican News says some of the officials who work closely with the Pope paid their respects last night in the course of that first morning. You see the Swiss Guard as well, keeping watch. Let's begin our coverage in St. Peter's Square. Once again, Megan Williams, who's going to lead things off for us. So, Megan, looking at those very first images and hearing the very first details, the cardinals have made their first decisions in terms of the Pope's funeral. What are we learning about what is in store?
That's right, Heather. 60 or so cardinals met this morning to discuss the plans going forward. At that meeting, the Pope's will was read aloud. We knew what the will said already because they'd released it, but it confirmed the fact that he would like to be buried not in St. Peter's Basilica, like most of the previous popes, but in another Rome basilica called Santa Maria Maggiore, that's linked to the Christian figure of Mary. He wants, as you said, to be buried in a simple coffin. They've released a video of that coffin, velvet lined, but just simple wood. And he will be buried after the funeral. Now, the funeral, as you mentioned, is on Saturday at 10 a.m. here in Rome. They'll bring his body from the Santa Marta guest house inside the Vatican where he died to St. Peter's Square tomorrow. They'll bring it through the square. They'll put it inside the basilica where it will lay in waiting, and that's when people can form a lineup to get a view of the Pope's body. That will last a few days until the funeral. The funeral on Saturday marks the first official day of 9 days of mourning. So the Vatican isn't saying yet when the conclave will begin, but probably the soonest date it could begin is May 5th.
Megan, one of the things that we've been talking about today as the bells toll, the background, the somber background, is the kind of outpouring we're seeing, yes, here in Canada and around the world in tribute to Pope Francis. And St. Peter's Square, of course, as we look at the beautiful statues atop, it is a powerful symbol. It's a site of pilgrimage for Roman Catholic faithful. And I'm wondering who you're seeing and what you're seeing there this morning.
Well, Heather, like yesterday, thousands of people pouring down the main Via della Conciliazione Avenue that leads up to St. Peter's. This is, of course, the Holy Jubilee year for the Catholic Church. That's a holy year that happens every 25 years. So already there were a lot of people planning to come, many, of course, hoping to get a glimpse of Pope Francis. So all of those people will be joining in the funeral celebrations, likely, especially young people who were supposed to have their own celebration on Sunday.
Megan, thank you very much. Megan Williams, who will be a big part of our coverage this week, along with Chris Brown and Briar Stewart. And we have word, Megan, that I'll be traveling later today to join you there in Rome, and honored to be hosting the funeral commemorations and special network coverage on Saturday. So we'll talk much more about that as well. Megan Williams in St. Peter's Square.